What's going on, everybody? I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller. So in a couple days over the weekend, I'm going on a little excursion, a little retreat over to Big Bear, California and Lake Arrowhead. And it's only like 2 hours away from me. And although I'm nice and toasty here in Los Angeles, in the big city, only 2 hours away in Big Bear and Lake Arrowhead, it gets really snowy and really cold. So I want to bring with me a decently resilient watch, something that's rugged, that's tough, that will be able to stay with me while I'm exposed to the harsh elements. It's 3:10 p.m. Let's get down to business. Alright, so which watch will I be bringing with me on this little winter getaway? Well, an obvious choice would be my Rolex Explorer 2 16570 polar dial. It's got polar in the name, so I should bring it into the snow, right? It's incredibly legible with that white dial and the sharp indexes and that red GMT hand. It's built like a tank. It's got a threaded crown and 100-meter water resistance rating. I mean, overall, it's just an incredibly competent outside, out and about field watch. But I'm not gonna bring that watch with me. Why? Because I wear it all the time, and I know you guys are sick of seeing it on my stupid big hairy wrist, so I want something else. So I've whittled down my selection to these babies, the Hamilton Khaki Field Mechanical 38mm and the Boulder Expedition Everest. Alright, so if there's one episode I get asked to make all the time, it's a comparison between these two, and yeah, I'm gonna compare them right now. Let's see how they stack up. The Hamilton Khaki Field watch versus the Boulder Expedition Everest, old school versus new school, arguably one of the most prolific field watches ever made versus a hyper modern competitor. Let's take a look. Obviously, I've spent a good amount of time with both of these watches in my collection. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Hamilton Khaki Field watch first. 38mm, only 9.5mm thick, so super duper thin, just the quintessential field watch, lays on your wrist, out of the way, super flat, won't get hung up on any of your gear or your sleeves. If you're putting on jackets or backpacks, it won't get caught up on the straps or sleeves. Just a really great, pleasant watch to wear. Almost don't know what's there. Let's see, it's got a sapphire crystal. It's powered by an ETA hand wind movement. Obviously, it's powered by an ETA movement. This is a Swatch Group watch, and this movement vibrates at 28,800 BPH, so incredibly smooth sweep there with the second hand. Again, kind of captivating. All right, so this hammy has some pretty good specifications all around, but probably my favorite attribute this watch has is just that vintage military aesthetic. Super duper badass. This was modeled after Hamilton's 1940 military hack watch, so just some really deep history. I love that matte black dial. It looks like the Arabics were almost painted on. That faux patina that actually glows really, really brightly in low light situations, and you're getting 24-hour marking, so just some added function there. Okay, it's a small watch, doesn't have a ton of bells and whistles, but don't let that fool you. There's some definite rugged functionality here. This is a tough watch. It's made it through World War II. It's made it through Vietnam. This watch is a total badass. My only issue with it is that it only has a 50-meter water resistance rating and no threaded crown. So can you swim with it? Yes. Would I have liked a larger water resistance rating? Yes. Now on to the Boulder Expedition Everest. So this watch is incredibly legible at 41mm. It's 14.5mm thick, so substantially just all around a much bigger watch than this hammy. It's also got a sapphire crystal. Now this watch is currently wearing a NATO strap, but if we took the NATO strap off and looked through the display case back, you would see a Swiss Sellita SW201 automatic movement. So of course you're getting hacking and hand wind here as well. But when you look at this watch, the first thing you'll notice is probably these dual crowns, okay? They're actually both threaded. So the bottom one will set the time and the date. The top one, if you unthread it, will actuate this internal rotating compass. And I've actually made an episode explaining exactly how to use this compass, so click an icon here and you can watch that episode. Also, when we're talking about these threaded crowns, it should be mentioned this watch has a 200-meter water resistance rating, which is a bit bigger than this 50-meter water resistance rating. Now overall, this watch is incredibly modern in design. The hands look very sharp, but they're not flimsy at all. They look very stout. They look like they can really take a beating. And again, blue and orange, I absolutely love that color combination. This watch pulls it off very well. I love the little splash of orange over here on the second hand. I love that blue dial. And again, just another little orange accent over here on the upper crown. And when we're talking about colors here, I should mention that this watch has some really nice dual colored lume. I'll get a lume shot in here for you. So overall, this Boulder Expedition Everest Everest feels just as modern as this Hamilton feels classic. So we kind of got both sides of the spectrum here. Really, really classic, old school vibe, really, really modern, new school vibe. Okay, so guys, both of these watches are my field watches. Again, I've spent a lot of time with them, and they're both wearing NATO straps, as you can tell. Now, these NATO straps are from Wrist Candy Watch Club. You can go to wristcandywatchclub.com and check them out. These are pretty much the only two-piece NATO straps I still wear because they are the proper length, finally, for my 7.5-inch wrist. They can be tucked away and folded back nice and neatly. I don't need to cut them. Finally, a company figured it out. So guys, the NATO strap on this one, kind of a sand color. It looks really cool with that blue dial and those orange accents. But whenever I take a picture of this NATO strap, kind of the old school GI NATO olive drab with that yellow streak, everybody asks me where I got it. Again, go to wristcandywatchclub.com, check it out, and I have a coupon code for all of my viewers. Type in TimeTeller15 at the checkout, and you can get 15% off any order over $20. So really just pick a couple straps and you're saving yourself some money. All right, guys, so we've taken a look at both of these watches. We've kind of gone over the specifications. Okay, inevitably I'm gonna be asked which watch is better. And guys, that's an incredibly difficult decision to make. I love both of these watches. They're both my personal watches, but I think each of these is better at different things. Here's what I mean. All right, so first let's take a look at this Hamilton Khaki field watch, okay? This watch has so much horological significance. I think every watch collector needs to have one in their collection. I mean, this thing has been around forever. It's fought in wars. It's just hard to compete with when it comes to classic design and just deep, rich history. But although this Hamilton Khaki field watch is a very durable, tested, rugged little field watch, it's very hard to compete with this modern, overbuilt powerhouse. So okay, with this Boulder, you're getting the dual threaded crowns, the internal rotating compass, the 200-meter water resistance rating, the dual loom, the date complication, just all these bells and whistles. But guys, if all these bells and whistles aren't valuable to you, if you don't think there's really a need for them, then yeah, choose the more classically designed, the more bare bones Hamilton Khaki field watch. But again, if you do see a lot of added value with all these bells and whistles, if you do want kind of an over-the-top, overbuilt watch like this, then pick it up. Okay, so which one of these babies will I be taking with me on my little winter getaway? Well, if you guys recall, not too long ago, Connie and I took a little trip to La Jolla, California. That's over by San Diego. And I took this watch and only this watch with me, and I learned a ton about it, and I almost fell in love with it all over again. And I made a little video about this watch. So if you haven't seen that video, click here or in a link in the description below, and you can watch that episode. But yeah, I've spent a lot of time with this watch already, and I think it's time that I do the same with this Boulder expedition. So guys, I'm gonna be taking this Boulder expedition Everest with me over to Big Bear, California, over to Lake Arrowhead, and maybe I'll learn a bunch about this watch, and I'll make another episode after I spend some time with it. What do you say? Now guys, I'm gonna be filming the whole time I'm over there in Big Bear, California, and if you wanna see my little loadout, all the gear I'm bringing, kind of a little EDC video, click the link in the description below, or click here and subscribe to my Time Away channel, because I'm gonna be making a little EDC video over there. But as always, guys, I want to hear from you. Which one of these watches would you be taking with you, and why? Continue the conversation in the comment section. I will see you there. I want to hear from you. And guys, please consider supporting the channel. You help me out so much. It's people like you that allow me to make this consistent content on a regular basis. Click the link in the description below. Go to the Time Teller shop. I have watches, watch accessories like watch straps, watch toolkits, watch winders even. Again, click that link, shop around. Helps me out a ton when you do that, so thank you. And if you're new here, if this is your first time joining us here at the Time Teller channel, I want to say thank you so much for stopping by. Let's make this a little bit more official. Go ahead, click that subscribe button. It takes 1 second and it helps me out a ton. And while you're at it, you can go ahead and click that little bell icon so you do not miss an episode of the Time Teller. There's just so much more awesome content on the way, and you don't want to miss it. I'm telling you guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with other watch enthusiasts, other people that you think would enjoy this. I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller, and always remember, I didn't invent time. I just tell it. Now guys, by the way, I'm currently wearing my Rolex Date 1500. Love this watch, a great everyday watch, but I will not bring this to the winter wonderland of Big Bear, California. No, I will be taking my Boulder expedition. Alright, well, if you enjoyed this episode, please consider subscribing to the channel because there's a whole lot more where that came from. Also, I have no idea how YouTube works yet. Hopefully in the future I'll get the hang of it, but I think there should be some recommended videos for you to watch. There might be one over on this side of the screen. There might be one over on this side of the screen. Who knows where they're gonna be? YouTube's always changing. Life is always changing. You know, there's a lot to learn about life. We'll save this for another episode. Anyway, click one of these videos, watch it, subscribe to the channel. I love you.